Donald Trump has done something which no president has ever done in the modern history of this country, even conservative presidents. And that is for cheap political gain. What he has done, and is trying to do today, is to divide our nation up based on the color of our skin, based on where we were born, based on our sexual orientation, based on our gender, based on our religion. And I think, honest people can have different disagreements about healthcare. I'm going to talk about that, education, climate change, all that stuff. But the function of a president of the United States is to bring people together, not to divide them. And that is what this campaign is about, and it's what our presidency will be about. So I want to welcome all of you to a campaign which says loudly and proudly that the underlying principles of our government will not be greed. I'm sick and tired of the greed that we see in this country. This greed is a true disease. And people have written about it. Alcoholism, a disease. Drug addiction, a disease. And yet this desire on some of these billionaires, how many billions of dollars do you need to feed your family? Enough really is enough. And we're going to take on that greed. We're going to take on the hatred coming from the White House now. We're going to take on the lies. Our campaign and our government will not be based on racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, or religious bigotry. The principles of our government will be based on a very, very old principle, a principle which literally goes back through the Bible, goes back throughout human history, and that is justice. Justice. And when I'm talking about justice, I'm talking about economic justice, I'm talking about social justice, I'm talking about racial justice, and I am talking about environmental justice. Environmental justice means that people in Iowa and elsewhere in this country should not have to be smelling manure 24 hours a day. Tonight, I want to welcome you to a campaign which tells the powerful special interests who control so much of our economic and political life that we will no longer accept the greed of Wall Street, corporate America, and the billionaire class. Greed which has resulted in this country having more income and wealth inequality than almost any major country on earth, and creating a situation which is worse today than in any time since the 1920s. We're not going to see this discussed on TV, you're not going to hear too much on the radio. But here is a reality that this campaign and our government will address. It is not acceptable to me, nor I think the majority of the American people, that the three wealthiest families in America, three families, own more wealth than the bottom half of American people. When we were kids, we studied about what goes on around the world and different types of governments and societies. And your teacher told you about oligarchy here and oligarchy there, and a few families control the economy and the politics of those countries. Well, that is precisely what is happening in America today.
No.
We are moving in the direction of oligarchy, and together we are going to turn that around. We will no longer accept 49% of all new income going to the top 1%. That's the economy today. Economy is doing great for the 1%, not so great for ordinary Americans. 49% going to the top 1%, while in Iowa, Vermont, and all over this country, millions of people are forced to work 2 or 3 jobs just to put food on the table.
Yeah.
I was just in Burlington a few hours before, and a guy stood up and said, I worked at McDonald's, make $9 an hour.
Wow.
Nobody can make it on $9 an hour or $10 an hour. And furthermore, we don't talk about this. You know why the American people are stressed out? And I go all over the country, and I go all over my own state. People are stressed. And one of the reasons they are stressed is that half of the American people are living paycheck to paycheck. I grew up in a family that lived paycheck to paycheck, and I know what that did to our family. And what paycheck to paycheck means is that millions of people today are scared to death that their car might break down. And if their car breaks down, they can't get to work. The boss doesn't want to hear an explanation. They can't get to work. They don't get to work, they get fired. They get fired, they can't take care of their kids. People living under incredible stress. People are living paycheck to paycheck, scared that their kid will get sick. And they don't have enough money to take that kid to the doctor. And God forbid the kid ends up in the hospital, your family faces financial ruin. Millions of families are in that boat. In the richest country in the history of the world, we could do a hell of a lot better economically now. Something to the young people, and that is, in the wealthiest nation on earth, unless we turn this around, our kids, for the first time in modern American history, will have a lower standard of living than their parents.
No.
See, and that baby understands that. That baby is nervous about that. He or she has a right to be nervous. Just think about it. How does it happen? Just, what we try to do in this campaign is think outside of the box. Take a step backwards. So here you have an explosion in technology. Everybody knows that. Huge increase in worker productivity. How does it happen that our kids are earning less in real dollars than their parents? How does it happen that our kids are leaving school deeply in debt? That our kids can't afford to get an apartment or a house or buy a car? I got 4 kids, beautiful kids, 7 beautiful grandchildren. We believe that this country should move upwards, not downwards. And that's the economy we're going to. But it's not just an economy that we have to create that works for all people. We have to take a very hard look at a corrupt political system.
Yes.
That's what it is. I can't use any other word. It is a corrupt system.